says your budget, prepared by you, you sign all the memos, does it have a 9% next year and then a 6, a 4, and a 4?
Because it probably complies with an ordinance that was passed by the Miami-Dade County Commission, which says these are automatic increases, but they're adjusted every year, and he knows that they're adjusted every year.
Okay, gentlemen, let's move on to another maintenance issue. I think that this community, I'm sure people in this room, were shocked. I mean, frankly, I was shocked that this failure of a pipe at the Adrian Arts Center in May, and the water came cascading down, and you talked about it this week when you and the commission and the mayor said we want $5 million, up to $5 million to repair this, and eventually we're going to sue the architect or the engineers, the construction, but we need to get this done. And Chairman Martinez, when the vote came around, of course you had already seen, if you voted last, that it was going to pass, but you voted against putting up that money to repair something in this $470 million performing arts center. Why did you vote against that?
It wasn't on that. We have a $5 million deductible, period. So it's understood that the money will have to go there. My question is, it's been 8 weeks, okay? That company was a joint venture, Odebrecht, and a couple of other ones, Neil, I can't forget who it was. We have engineers. We have professional engineers. We have everything on staff. According to when it originally happened, we were told that it was a simple drainage pipe that didn't work. Now we have to go and hire an outside person to tell us what is wrong with it. My whole thing was, Odebrecht is still around. The other companies may or may not be. Why don't you bring them in? Why don't you bring them in and tell them what is wrong with this? And if it's determined that it was their problem, that they didn't do it, if it was determined that it was maintenance, or anything else, you know what, we can deal with it. It wasn't the issue. Our deductible is $5 million, we have to pay for it. But let me tell you what will happen in the real world. When we put up the $5 million and we fix it without knowing whose fault it is, if we find out that it's the companies, do you think they're going to pay us, or do you think they're going to take us to court? We're going to wind up in court. All I was saying, and I knew it was going to pass, it wasn't the issue of whether it was needed or wasn't needed. My thing is, do the common sense thing, bring those people in and find out. I don't even know if they've been contacted to come in. He can answer the question, I can't.
All right, well,
that's what he deals with.
Let's ask him.
And maybe he'll give us an answer.
Mr. Mayor, when you learned more about this leak, did you say, hey, let's bring in Odebrecht and say, what's the problem?
I'm sure if I brought Odebrecht in, they'd say, you know, it was our fault. That would be the dumbest thing that we could probably do. What we need to do is get in, and what we're going to do is get a forensic engineer to determine who was at fault. Was it Odebrecht? Was it the engineer? Was it the architect? Was it a design problem from the get-go? Was it the way that it was installed? That's what we need to find out, so that then you can say, well, really, whose responsibility was this? And then have an independent individual say whose responsibility really it was. We needed to spend the $5 million. The $5 million covered the deductible. We need to get the facility replaced, or not replaced, but repaired. Or else it's not going to be open in October. And so, when you look at what $5 million really is, when you compare it to a $400 million, say a $500 million facility, it's 1%. So we're not gonna open up the facility holding up a 1% deductible. That to me is crazy. And so the responsible thing to do was to provide the $5 million so that we go ahead and cover the deductible, so that we go ahead and find it and get the experts to tell us who was responsible, so that then we can take legal action if we have to against that responsible party. But regardless of that, say we knew today who was responsible, we wouldn't be able to collect that money for years, because you know we're going to be in litigation. We've got to get the center open now. So yes, we have to put the $5 million in now, and that's a responsible thing to do.
That's why the public doesn't trust us.
Why not?
$255 million was the maximum price guarantee. that the art center was supposed to cost, for the performing arts center. We wound up paying $410 million plus. All right, almost double the amount. We had architects, we had everybody. The regular person on the street, the one who has to pay for this, or who seems to, even though it's convention development tax, tourist tax, whatever you might call it, doesn't see it like that. They see it as the government is not representing me. Why can't we find out who it is and bring the responsible people? Forget the legal word. Did we even make the call to them? Let them tell us no. But did we even make the call to them? That is something I don't know. Apparently from his answer we didn't. Because according to him, it would be the most stupidest thing to do.
All right. Let me ask you both. I'm sure we've seen there are business people who may have a plan for a hardware store, a Publix, homes beyond the urban development boundary in Miami-Dade County. This has been in the past a huge issue, not so much lately, although the department that the governor abolished, community affairs. Maybe it's a little easier now to build beyond the UDB since the state will not be a brake on anybody who wants to do it. But Mayor Gimenez, let me start with you.